A federal agency wants to lower the threshold for drunk driving. This is the National Transportation Safety Board, and they say that the blood alcohol content of 0.08 is, not low enough. They want it to be 0.05, which is controversial. A lot of people are not happy about this. Of course, alcohol companies are not happy about this.
Yeah.
Alcohol consumers are not happy about this. But there is some interesting information. There are more than 100 countries that have adopted the 0.05 alcohol content standard or lower. And also in those countries, drunk driving deaths in Europe have dropped over 50% in 10 years after the implementation of those laws.
Yeah, I mean, I think stats like that can be a little bit skewed because our drinking habits are different here and our culture of drinking. In Europe, they don't pound beers the way that we do here. They drink more wine. Not to say that you should be driving because you drank wine rather than you drank beer, but I don't think it's completely equal between every country in the world has different drinking habits. Basically, I think, people should not be drunk driving. We're here in LA where everyone is driving and texting and tweeting. I mean, you stop at a light and literally everybody, I look around sometimes and I've been guilty of it myself, but everybody's got their head down. So we have so many distractions, and if you add drunkenness to that, I mean, all the numbers are off the charts when it comes to accidents and deaths. So
I definitely agree with you. I mean, if there's anything that needs to be done to decrease the number of people that die as a result of drunk driving, I'm all for it. I would like to see some scientific evidence indicating that this would make a dramatic improvement.
Right, what's the difference between the 0.05 and 0.08? That's the question, is where that falls out. Yeah.
And just to give you guys an example of how much alcohol you would have to drink in order to hit that 0.05 mark. A woman weighing less than 120 pounds can reach that mark after just one drink. A man weighing up to 160 pounds reaches 0.05 after 2 drinks, right? So that means if I do have a glass of wine, I'm there already.
Right.
And it's kind of incredible because I don't feel drunk after 1 glass of wine. I feel totally fine. I could pass a field sobriety test.
I've had wine with you and I've seen you after one and you've been perfectly...
I was a good girl, right?
You were a good girl. Now you get 3 in you and that's where she starts going nuts. You know what I mean? The shirt's off. It was a wine bar. It was so inappropriate. We weren't at, a dive bar and you're out there. And
I know. The audience doesn't need to know about that.
No. Just making that up.
So what do you guys think? JR, are you thinking that this is a good idea? Are you skeptical? Very curious.
I don't think it would actually lower the numbers as far as the numbers of drunk driving. I mean, I could be wrong. As you guys said, it worked in other countries, but also it is true about the differences in drinking habits. But it's at 0.08 now. That's pretty low, which it should be, by the way, because people are impaired different ways. We see sober people that don't know how to drive in this city, especially. So.
Oh yeah, especially me.
I mean, you have to make quick decisions in high traffic areas like this one. So, I think you'd get more arrests. You get more of those people going down for it. But I don't know if the amount of accidents, because the accidents that happen aren't from people that are driving at 0.08 anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what those stats are, but I don't think it's going to change what we're doing. It's just going to get more arrests. Maybe it's a way to get more arrests and get more money off of this.
So 10,000 people, around 10,000 people a year die as a result of drunk driving. So it is a huge problem. I want to see that number go down as much as possible, right? But also, I think that if you genuinely, as a politician or a public official, if you genuinely care about reducing the number of deaths because of drunk driving, you need to focus more on public transportation.
Yes.
In a city like Los Angeles, it's impossible to go out and have a good time and find public transportation that will get you from point A to point B. Like, you have to find a designated driver, which is really, really difficult. And every time we go out, I always make sure that we do have that designated driver. A lot of times I'll be that person. But that's hard to do. And people sometimes make bad decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that having public transportation available will definitely decrease the occurrence of drunk driving.
Yeah, and of course, look, not every city is going to be as densely populated and have the infrastructure as New York City, where you can get on a subway and literally get anywhere within the 5 boroughs, or you can get on buses and get across the city in 20 minutes or anything like that. But yes, we need better transportation. I'm shocked. I've only been here for 4 months in this town, and I can't go out and drink, and I wouldn't do it. So
Yeah.
it's and I don't know. I don't even know where public transportation would take me in this town. I wouldn't even know where to find it, nor where it would take me. So something ain't right.
It's also a lot easier to meet people when you have a city with great public transportation, right? Because you go out to the bar, you have a little drinky drink, you know, you don't have to worry about getting behind a wheel and causing an accident if you're under the influence. And you know, you have a good time and you meet people and you know, you get that liquid courage. And then you take the bus or you take the subway home and everything's fine. In a place like Los Angeles, I mean, it's so incredibly difficult to meet people at a bar or a club or whatever it is because everyone lives in like different areas of LA. One person lives in Torrance, the other person lives in the Valley.
Yeah.
Like ain't nobody got time for that. You know what I mean? No one's going home with anyone else. Anyway, that was a totally different like
Total
angle.
sidebar.
Yeah.
Should we tell everyone the wine bar that we like so that they can come and drive us home? We should probably keep it quiet, right?
Yeah, let's do
Let's
that.
keep it quiet.